Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie, the show where every other week we sit down to watch a movie and determine whether or not it is okie dokie. I am Tommy, joined as always by CJ. CJ, how you doing?
I am living the dream one day at a time. I would like to just take a moment. My grandfather passed away, and I haven't really talked to many people about it. I mean, I my closest friends I told, and obviously you were one of the first people I told, but I found out the night after the Super Bowl, or the night of the Super Bowl. I got woken up at 3 a.m, basically being like, hey, Grandpa died. And, you know, he was a good man. And I would say we had, at times, a complicated relationship. Not because I thought not because he's a bad person or because we disagreed on things, but because there was a generational divide, and he thought things should be one way, and I was not that person. I really didn't do sports as a little kid. I wasn't athletic. I had long hair. I wanted to be like my dad. My grandpa didn't like my dad, and the one thing that I will say about my grandfather is that it is everything that he did in his life, even if in the moment you couldn't see it for what it was. Everything he did in his life, it's very obvious now how much he loved his family. So, please rest easy. I appreciate all the people that have reached out to me. I do not need any of your sympathies, or your, sorries. I not that I don't appreciate them. He was a very charitable man. He supported youth sports. He supported, the softball and the basketball. He did CYO. He was a National Guard. He had his own charity things that he did. He had his own charity parties. I think one of them was called Frank and Artie's charity party. And, he had his own clubs and everything, and he gave a lot. And the mark of a true charitable man, he left very little behind. He gave away a lot. So, if you are moved by this, if you feel inclined to do anything, all I would say to you is do something for somebody else. Make a donation, help somebody that needs help. Go out of your way. Support somebody's dream. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that means for you. Just find a way to make a difference in somebody's life, and I would be very thankful. So, sorry to start that on such a somber note.
No, you're good. I do have a question, though. When you say generational divide, do you mean he's more Kirk and you're more Picard?
Oh, of course. I think that he had an idea of how young men should be.
Right, Captain Kirk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, he thought the way for me as a picky eater as a kid to eat more vegetables would be to sit me at the table and yell at me. Because that's how he got his kids to eat their vegetables, right?
Yeah, it's productive.
There's generational things, right? Looking back on them, at the time, they were upsetting to me because I'm a kid and I don't understand, right? I don't like broccoli. Why am I being yelled at to eat broccoli? He's like, you're going to turn into a French fry one day. But as
I don't
an adult,
like Captain Kirk, and he just sits there and makes me watch all of the Captain Kirk Star Trek.
Yeah, there you go. The original series is actually pretty good, but I do prefer Next Gen.
I knew it.
Yeah, no, it's something. So, yeah. It's so funny I actually have no idea what we're watching today. I downloaded it. I have no idea what we're doing.
Well, I can announce the name of the movie that we're watching for people who have not read the title, or do you just want to go in uber blind?
I do want to go in blind, but I actually have a game for you.
Well, before we do that, we do have to address first, everyone, Oscar's ballot linked in the description.
Yes.
Please go fill it out. The deadline is March 15th, the day the Oscars are. The deadline is at noon Eastern time. So please check the description, go fill that out. All the instructions on how it works are in there. But just to summarize, for every category, you have a big prediction and a little prediction. So say you're like, I really think Sentimental Value is going to win Best Picture, but I want to hedge my bet a little bit and say that The Secret Agent might win. You could put like your 80-point prediction on Sentimental Value, 40-point prediction on Secret Agent, hedge your bets. You could put all in on one thing. But yeah, go check the description, fill it out. There is a prize for the winner. And if you are in our Discord server, you do get the exclusive title of Resident Oscars Expert, which Alex has held for the past year and will soon be relinquishing.
I mean, unless
Alex comes in third again behind the two of us.
There's a part of me that does think, gee, maybe we have an advantage.
Maybe. Probably not though, because it's a gamba. It's a craps.
It is. You got first last year. I was not close to you.
No, I got freaking. I demolished you.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
No, it's luck. It's all luck. It's just because I went with the all or nothing strategy of I didn't hedge my bets at all, and I just happened to get more right than wrong. So could have been catastrophic the other direction.
That's very true. So Tommy.
Yeah.
Did you like our box office Mojo Go-Go game?
I did. I didn't know that we were going to have another game in this pre-show though.
Oh, you have a game.
No, I don't. I meant when we started doing the games, you said it was going to be a post-show thing, but now we have another one in the pre-show.
This is going to be okay. I don't want this to be an all the time thing, but I came up with this one, and it's going in the pre-show.
Wow, you couldn't have saved it for your post-show game that you have to prepare, since we said that we were alternating and I did the last post-show?
It'll be fine.
All right. Well, you got to come up with another one for this post-show.
Yeah, I know. I promise this is the last pre-show game.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so it's the same way that we did it last time. This is Bo Mojo A Go-Go.
Okay.
This is the randomized list. I just sent the list to Tommy. I'm going to read the audience this list. The name of the game, Bo Mojo A Go-Go. The object of the game is to knock off every movie from the given year. This is by worldwide gross, or international gross. You have to not guess the highest one on the list, okay?
Okay.
So this is for 2011.
Okay.
There is a bonus. You get 1 bonus point for declaring what you believe to be the lowest international grossing film on this list.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to read off the list of films. This is for 2011. Are you ready?
Yeah. I mean, I've read the list 5 times over and I'm already strategizing.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, for international, we have, or is it international or worldwide?
Worldwide.
Worldwide, people. Worldwide. 2011. This is the randomized list. I did not send him the list in order. Real Steel, Green Lantern, X-Men First Class, Super 8, Mr. Popper's Penguins, Bad Teacher, The Help, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. There is also one other bonus point this week. If you tell me which is the one movie on this list that I did not see during its theatrical run.
Okay, cool. So I guess real quick, when you asked, is it international or worldwide, which were you referring to?
I was referring to domestic and foreign combined, which is worldwide gross.
Yes, domestic, yeah, and then the other one, it's not called foreign, it is called international.
Okay, on the Bomojo website, the table lists it as domestic, foreign, and worldwide. I am seeing now that on the drop-down, it says international.
Yeah. Okay, so... Real Steel, Green Lantern, First Class, Super 8, Poppers, Penguins, Bad Teacher, The Help, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Okay, so I've seen most of these. I've seen Real Steel actually, I've only seen like a half of these. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I'm eliminating, and I don't want to eliminate. I want the top one to be the last one remaining.
Yes, you want the film that had the highest gross to be last.
Yes, and I also have to guess which one you did not see in theaters. So I'm going to eliminate out the gate Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Okay. Are you calling any shots on that one?
I'm just thinking aloud. The ones that I feel like you did not see in person, the ones in contention for me are like Super 8, maybe Mr. Popper's Penguins, though that seems like something you would have ended up seeing. I went and saw that, of course.
Okay.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I feel like is a potentially, where I'm coming from is I feel like Super 8 might have been one where you were like, oh, maybe scary. I think I'll avoid it. I think, but I'm going to eliminate Mr. Popper's Penguins for now. I can come back and later on say, like, maybe I do a lot of thinking. I can come back and say, you didn't see Mr. Popper's Penguins. I don't have to call it.
You don't have to call that one, but you do have to call if it's the lowest grossing ahead of time.
What? Since when?
Since
last episode.
Last episode.
I know that, but it wasn't stated in this one.
Okay.
For lowest grossing, Mr. Popper's Penguin, lowest grossing.
That is correct. Mr. Popper's Penguins was 36 that year at the box office. It grossed $187 million.
Okay.
So you now know where the floor is.
Yes, 187 mil. All right. Okay, so Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that one's a bit tough because it does feel a little more niche, but they did make all of the sequels for it. So don't think... I'm going to eliminate Bad Teacher.
Okay. Bad Teacher was 32nd that year at the box office. And it was it raised $215 million.
Okay. That just seems like one, like, I'm sure it did okay, but I don't think that one was popping off.
Mm-hmm.
The Help had a lot of acclaim, and I think, there was a lot of talk about The Help at the time, so I feel like word of mouth treated that one well. Real Steel, definitely not the highest grossing, so I'm going to eliminate Real Steel, even though that's a great movie, boxing movie, which I know that you vehemently agree with, that it's a boxing movie.
I guess.
No, I just say that because in the past you were adamant that it's a robot movie and not a boxing movie. And I'm like, it can be both.
Both with an L.
Yeah, that's how I say it.
Real quick, Bad Teacher and Mr. Popper's Penguins are the bottom two on the list, so there's no movie between those two.
Yeah.
Real Steel is 21st on the list. It made $299 million at the box office that year.
Okay. But it's not the highest grossing of these, right?
It's not the highest. That's
okay,
correct.
Cool. All right, so Real Steel eliminated. I'm all see, so it's tricky. Green Lantern, I mean, uber stinker, but that doesn't mean that it didn't do movie? Well. Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Oh, Green Lantern? I mean, it's the next Godfather.
Shut up. I like that movie.
Green Lantern?
Yeah.
That's like the one movie you've said you will never watch again.
Oh, Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Green Hornet. No, Green Lantern was bad.
Green Hornet, not much better, but definitely not as bad as Green Lantern.
Can I be real?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get rid of Green Lantern.
Okay. Green Lantern was 25th on the list.
Cool.
It grossed $237 million at the box office that year.
Okay. Cool. Green Lantern gone. So we got 4 left.
Yes. You have X-Men First Class remaining, Super 8,
yeah.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and The Help.
Yeah. I know Super 8. Super 8. So First Class, that one's tricky because it is part of the whole X-Men franchise, though it was a soft reboot. And I think that in terms of cultural cachet, that it was, when that franchise was active, but maybe at a low point, and then First Class kind of got people back in the door. So I'm not quite sure how it did at the box office. I'm gonna leap around a little bit though. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'm hopping to the one you have not seen. I'm gonna predict you did not see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Are you eliminating that one?
Not yet.
I did not see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That was
Let's
the only
go.
movie that I didn't see that year.
All right.
At the theater.
Killing it.
I saw 4 of those at the drive-in.
Nice. I wish drive-ins were still like really a thing, man. Yeah. I loved going to there.
We have 3 around me, so they're cool.
So I'm gonna eliminate X-Men First Class.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Tommy, you lose again.
Wow.
X-Men First Class was number 1 on the list. It grossed $352 million.
That's messed up.
All right. Shot at Redemption.
Yeah.
What was the next highest on this list?
Next highest on this list?
That's left.
Yeah. At this point, it's just between. It's Super 8, The Help, and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm gonna go with Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because it spawned so many sequels, and I know that it's based on a book franchise and book series that's fairly popular. But I think the fact that they still made like 4 of those movies, I think that bodes well for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
So that is incorrect. The next highest on this list was Real Steel, and then followed by Super 8.
Okay, so Super 8 was the next of the ones available. Gotcha.
Super 8 made $260 million at the box office that year. All right, so I don't know how you're batting. How do you feel?
I feel fine. I got Mr. Popper's Penguin. I did better than last time.
You did.
Getting 2 bonuses.
You did. All right.
Good.
Pretty good. Put it in the cup for the final bonus point.
Okay.
What was the highest grossing film of 2011?
Can I Google a list of 2011 films?
Yes.
Okay, because I do not know. Geez. Okay. Oh God, my frickin' what's it called? My Google search thing is so askewed by like the first one that comes up is a Joachim Trier film. It's like that wasn't one of them. That wasn't one of the highest grossing. Oh geez. 2011. Scrolling. I don't even know. I'm not even seeing anything come up on Google that looks big.
Okay. How about this? How about we'll do this? You ready?
Yeah.
3 films that year made over $1 billion.
Oh my God. Okay. See, it's tough because I'm trying to find a list that doesn't spoil the box office.
So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the 3 films that made over $1 billion.
Okay.
You tell me which one was number 1.
Okay.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh, that's it. That one. That's it.
And
I don't
Pirates
even
of
need
the...
to hear the third one.
Oh,
It
is
the Harry
correct.
Potter.
Yes. I'm like, damn, he's not seeing Harry Potter on a fucking list.
No, I'll read to you what I'm seeing. I see Oslo, August 31st, Immortals, The Tree of Life, Melancholia, If a Tree Falls, The Lincoln Lawyer, Return, Drive, Anonymous, Sedona, His Way, Battle Los Angeles, Superheroes, Stuck Between Stations, The Backpacker, and just a bunch more. This is when I Google 2011 films. These are all what comes up. I've not heard of most of these, so I was playing stickball over
there
here.
There you go. A little stickball never hurt anybody. All right. So, thank you for playing. How would you do at home, audience? Let us know in the Discord. But yeah, movie.
Yeah. Today, we are watching Megalopolis. CJ, what do you know about this movie?
Okay. There are two movies that I think this could be.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, let me know. But it's either the Wachowski movie where Tom Hanks plays like a caveman and a future man and like an astronaut, and people thought that was going to be like basically what Avatar turned into, like the greatest film of all time, and it turned out to be a big what the fuck? Why'd that dog shit on my carpet? And why are you letting him? Or, and I could be wrong, it's either the Wachowskis pile of dog shit, or it's the Francis Ford Coppola movie, which I don't know any of the circumstances behind, but it had like a comical commercial flop. Like it probably, I think it had like a $200 million budget, and it only made $20 million. And I don't remember why or what happened. It's either one of those two. Is it one of those two?
It is. So the Wachowskis film that you're thinking of is Cloud Atlas.
Okay.
But yes, Megalopolis is the Francis Ford Coppola passion project that he was attempting to make for like over 40 years and then ultimately self-financed it. The budget the budget for it was like around $120 million that he spent of his own money. Like he sold, I think, a large portion, if not all, of his vineyards. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Francis Ford Coppola got like very into like having a vineyard and having his own wine.
Okay.
But he sold a lot of shit to be able to make this. And yeah, it didn't do well at the box office, but lot of buzz around it in advance. A lot, like it premiered at Cannes, and really I don't know anyone personally who has seen it, but just speaking anecdotally, seems like a movie people either love or hate. Like people are all over the spectrum on this. There is no sort of consensus on how people feel about this. So I thought it might be fun to pick this film that neither of us have seen. I've not seen it myself.
Oh, so you don't know anything about it either? I
know a little bit about it.
Okay.
There are some aspects of it that I'm intentionally not revealing. Including one thing that's very experimental in a way. But yeah, I've not seen it, but I've really wanted to check it out. So I thought that it would be fun if we sit down and watch a very divisive film and see where we fall on it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I am so into this. Why is it considered divisive?
Without revealing too much again, I think some people just feel like it is a bit uneven. Ambitious, but uneven, okay. I think is where it's largely like maybe too ambitious. But
okay.
We'll see. Again, that's just me speaking anecdotally from what I've heard from people who I don't even know personally. So we'll see. Maybe we have a good idea afterwards of why this doesn't work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into this.
Sweet. Well, Any I mean, you want to make a prediction for how you're gonna like it going in, knowing nothing about it other than it's
I'm
divisive?
gonna hate it.
All right, and I'm gonna go with. I'm also gonna. No, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna walk away saying this is a stinker. I'm with you, but let's see if that holds true. If you would like to watch Megalopolis with us, then check the description. There is a link to the commentary track there, and you can pause the show in just a moment. Otherwise, just keep on listening. But if you would like to watch with us, then pause the podcast right now.
Sleep of death where dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause.
Tommy, what are we fucking watching?
I don't know.
He's quoting Hamlet. What?
What do you think we do here? Forever.
We are talking about people,
What are you talking about?
Catalina, and how they...
Am I just brain damaged? I don't really understand what's going on.
My ratings are down.
What?
Want to help me?
What is this dialogue?
We've always got time.
Why do you keep saying that?
Is a supreme
What
sight on a black art.
are you saying? What? What? Why? What happened?
Never.
What? What?
We can actually design it so.
What the fuck?
Teen
Do you have
pregnancy
any
rate-
idea where this is going?
No clue where this is headed.
Is that what we're talking about? What?
Have loved.
What?
It's an
The boy
What the fuck?
be named.
There's like 30 minutes left in this movie. Somehow, a satellite hitting the planet was not a bigger point.
Nope.
What? What? What is he saying no about?
and scattered gold dust all over the world.
You know what's funny? This is somebody's favorite movie.
Yeah, you're talking to him.
Like the sap of the young
Shut the
tree.
fuck up.
Let the grace from within sustain us. Let us carve gems.
Hello and welcome back to the post show of our episode on Megalopolis. It's been a week for us. CJ, how have you been?
Good. It's been a week for us. It's been seconds for you. I'm doing well. Can I tell you, I'm actually... Not that I'm not always excited to do the podcast, because I always am. But there's some movies that we watch where I'm like, I'm not looking forward to talking about this movie at all.
Wow. It's kind of messed up.
I don't think it is. Some movies, I don't enjoy. I am not going to spoil how I feel about the movie, but I am looking forward to talking about this because I have
okay.
I have much to say. In
Sweet.
fact, so we have a document, called the show notes. Usually I go on vibes or like I read what you have in there and I'm like, I'll get all of my stuff in, you know?
Usually you mean every single time?
But today, I actually added stuff in.
Whoa, a show first. Let's go.
Not a show first. Not
Yeah,
a show
it is.
first. No, it's not.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
lie to the people. Okay. So there's that. So I am very excited to talk about Megalopolis.
Jeez, these are some misogynistic notes you left. Jesus Christ,
No,
CJ.
no, Tommy. The ones that are, most recent are yours.
CJ,
Okay.
it's funny you say that because I have not put any of my notes in yet from my notepad. These are still
Wow.
your notes. All of the misogyny is straight from your hand.
That is not accurate. I am not misogynist. Also, speaking of notepad, we have one last game for this episode. But
One
it comes,
more?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
what
remember,
a shame.
I know. And
I
then
was hoping
going
we
forward,
would have 3.
no, they'll go to just being in the post show.
Okay.
But this is cut 5, keep 3, and I
Okay.
said that in a specific order for a reason. So the name of the game is I'm going to give you 8 choices, one at a time. You don't know what's coming next, and you will have the choice to either keep or cut. And you will ultimately end up with keeping 3 and cutting 5.
Right.
But it's cut 5 and keep 3 because this week is bad theater behavior.
Okay.
So, these are things that people do in the theater that are either considered rude or poor behavior or not theater friendly experiences, right?
Yeah.
So
bummer that you clarified poor theater behavior, not just poor behavior, because I thought you were gonna be like rubbing 2 pennies together.
Yeah. Well, if it was 2 nickels, then I'd understand. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, keep or cut people who don't turn their phone brightness down. So you're in the movie theater and they're just full brightness in the row in front of you.
So this is like during the film, full brightness?
Yeah, they have full brightness on and they have their phone out during the movie.
And so hold on, is this does not turn their brightness down, or is this uses their phone and has the brightness up?
I think that those are the same because it's not like you're going to interview them after and find out the chicken or the egg of it all. I guess I just want to know, is this just like using your phone in general, or is this specifically bright phone screen? It's bright phone screen. So it's not necessarily that they're like texting the whole time. It's that their phone brightness is at like max while they're using it.
Okay. So by cutting something or keeping something, in keeping something, I am is that an endorsement?
It's not an endorsement per se. It's just tolerable.
Tolerable?
Like it's not the worst. In anticipation of what might be on the list that you might not want to deal with at a theater.
All right, so I'm going to start thinking this aloud. So since this one is specifically phone brightness way too high, to me, that is different than having your phone out at all. And to me, that is the more egregious thing. Like I was expecting it to be like, keeping your phone out as opposed to it being a brightness thing. Like to me, that in my mind, that is akin to trying to think of a good analogy.
So are you saying that having your phone out but the brightness all the way up is worse or better than somebody just having their phone out?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is having your phone out and brightness way up high, yeah, that sucks, but you're already committing a way more egregious sin in the moment by just having your phone out in general. Like that's kind of where I'm at. So I think I might keep having the phone brightness way too high, because if someone has their phone out and the brightness is way too high, I'm not getting mad at them about having their brightness up. I'm getting mad at them because their phone is out in general.
Okay. Can I tell you what I do?
Sure.
Throughout the movie, with my phone volume all the way off and my brightness all the way down, I will take my phone out of my pocket so I can check the time and then put it back in my pocket.
Horrible.
Well.
Horrible.
I'm horrible. There you go. But no brightness.
I can't believe you're checking the time during a theater-going experience. Wow.
Yeah. You've never checked the time on a movie?
Not to say that I haven't. I certainly have.
Yeah, exactly.
But doing so in a theater by taking my phone out? My phone is in my pocket the entire time I'm in the theater.
Oh, my phone doesn't even necessarily stay in my pocket the whole time. If it's one of those ones that has like the tray, like has like a little table, I'll put my key and my phone on the table.
But what if your phone buzzes?
No, I don't have vibrate on. It's just no
pure
ring.
Silence.
Pure silent. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so you're gonna keep brightness.
I'm gonna keep it because to me that's like, okay, you're diving into water in the shallow zone, and you're doing so not wearing water wings, right?
Right,
like,
sure.
I'm more concerned about the diving into the shallow zone in general than the fact that you're not wearing water wings. So I'm gonna keep phone brightness high.
All right. Number 2. So you've decided you have one keep. You have 2 keeps left.
Yes.
people loudly talking to the person next to them.
During the movie?
The whole movie.
The whole movie? Oh, cut that. Cutting loud convo the whole time. What are you doing at a theater then if you're doing that?
My uncle's the worst. I know we've talked about it. He's just the worst movie talker.
I hate your uncle.
Well,
I hate him.
all right.
Why is he saying, "Oh, come on," like mid-film? Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Some of the stories you've told about him genuinely left my mouth agape.
I tell you when we went and saw Thunderbolts?
Yes, that was one of the worst ones.
I think Interstellar is the worst one.
Why don't you tell both of those stories real quick for people who haven't heard those episodes?
So we went to see Thunderbolts, and the beginning of the movie, spoiler, has Florence Pugh at like the top of like a skyscraper type thing, and she's gonna jump, and he's like, "No." he just was just like, and then he's afraid of heights, so he's like, like he's just like, "No, I can't do it." I don't remember exactly what he said, but when
she fell, he yelled something like "ya donut" or something.
Oh, that's right.
Like that.
And she jumped, and he goes, he's like, "You dope."
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Why are you adding your own commentary to like the opening scene? What did he think was going to happen?
Dead quiet.
Did he think she was going to splat on the pavement? It's the opening. It's literally the opening 30 seconds of the film.
Yeah. So one time we went and saw Interstellar, and there's like, it's not like a full theater, but it's pretty full. It's like a big stadium style theater seating, and it wasn't IMAX, but it was like a really big screen. And I remember the scene where Matt Damon steals the ship and tries to dock, but he blows up. There's no audio in that scene, right? Because there's no noise in space. There's nothing for it there's nothing for those sound waves to travel against. So it cuts to the explosion. They're watching it. We're seeing it in the audience. There's not a sound. You could have heard a rat piss. And he goes, "Weenie boy!"
Yes, exactly. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I agree. Yeah. That's a good cut.
I'm kicking your uncle off of the island immediately.
Wow, okay. Well, I
not even eating the meat off of his bones.
All right. Wow. I thought we were playing Survivor.
Yeah, we're stuck on the anyway, next one.
All right. So, this one is for your row. People who constantly get up and down throughout the movie, and I'll say constantly, I'll put it at basically more than 5 times. More than 5 times.
What are these people doing?
Someone has to get up and down.
What are these people doing?
I know. You've never had that?
No, I've not. I maybe at most like twice. Typically as well. I think that this might be something that I don't encounter often just by virtue of typically we're sitting near the middle of the audience, so if anything, we would be the people disrupting others.
Yeah, if you're an aisle person like me.
Yeah. So in the scenario of the keep and cut, I'm going to assume I'm sitting by the aisle and these people are crossing in front of me.
Yeah.
So they get up and leave and come back 5 times. That's 10 interruptions. And somewhere between like a 90 to freaking 150 minute period. That's bad. I'm gonna cut that.
Okay. All right. So you have 1 keep and you have 2 cuts. People who clap at the end of the movie.
Okay, definitely a peeve of mine. Not a peeve, but it just like makes me roll my eyes a little bit, especially like the time I went and saw freaking The Marvels, and there's a dude right behind me whooping and clapping during the credits, and he's the only one. Whooping. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, I understand if it's like a premiere night and the energy is high.
Yeah.
But For the most part, like, who are you applauding in that moment? Who is hearing you? The operator? Are we applauding the 16-year-old who presses play on the digital track now?
Yeah.
Or like what? So it annoys me, but ultimately it has zero impact on the viewing experience. The movie's over at that point. So I'm going to keep people clapping at the credits.
All right. So you have 2 keeps and 2 cuts.
Yes.
You're halfway through. You only have 1 more keep.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Most of these things are undesirable. I want to get rid of all of them.
That's true. All right. People who don't silence or turn off their cell phones and their phone goes off during the movie.
Oh, frickin' cut. Nothing takes me out like someone's phone going off.
Obvious cut. Obvious cut. People who do not sit in their assigned seat and refuse to move.
And refuse to move? See, part of me is like, well, I mean, typically getting there beforehand. So if they refuse to move, I'm going to bust out my phone and I'm going to bust all over them. I'm going to bust out my phone and show them, like, this is my seat. You're sitting in it. And if they refuse, then I go and get a staff member to come and ask them to move or move them.
Yeah.
So again, doesn't feel as though it's going to actually impact my viewing experience.
Wow.
So because
let's
again,
say in this scenario, they don't move and the staff can't make them move.
How?
It's a 16-year-old.
It's a 16-year-old?
I'm saying, like, you're saying the 16-year-old that pushes the button. It's not like the 16-year-old has more courage than you do.
Well, I mean, it's their job, and they can just say, sorry, you have to move. And if the person refuses, then we get the frickin' manager involved. Again, where I'm approaching this from is I want to prioritize my viewing experience. And this seems like a before the movie issue.
Okay.
Where this will be sorted out in one way or another, whether it's that person eventually getting dealt with by staff or them like handcuffing them to the seat. I'm just going to sit on the other side of them. Better yet, if Jade's with me, we're each sitting on one side of them and we're talking the whole time over that, like through that person's ears.
Okay.
So you know what? I'm going to keep the person not moving out of my seat.
You are going to keep, and that means you automatically cut the last 2.
Yes, I do automatically cut the last 2, but you know what? I'm okay living, the one that I'm not like the happiest about being on there is phone brightness being high, because again, it sucks. But to me, in that instance, that is not our biggest problem if your phone brightness is super high. So yeah, I'm going to keep phone brightness being super high, clapping at the credits, and a person not moving out of my seat. And I'm going to cut whatever these last 2 are. I'd love to hear them.
So you kept people who don't turn their phone brightness down, people who clap at the end of the movie, and people who constantly get up and down throughout the movie.
Yes.
You cut people talking loudly to the person next to them.
Sorry, wait. Could you repeat the last thing I kept?
Constantly get up and down.
No, I kept the person not moving out of my seat.
Oh, you kept the person not moving out of your seat. Yep.
Yes.
So you cut person talking loudly. You cut getting up and down. You cut people who don't silence their cell phone. And that means you automatically cut people who talk to the movie, which is the one that I put for my uncle.
Yeah. Why aren't you just at home then? You cannot conduct yourself in public for 90 minutes?
No, they can't. And the last one is people who smuggle food in from the outside of the theater.
Oh, that's a bummer, but I guess I don't get to go to any more theaters since I can't smuggle in any food.
Yeah,
but again, how does that inconvenience you?
No, it's just bad theater behavior.
No, it's not.
No, it's on the list of bad theater behavior.
What is bad about it?
You're bringing in food. They've posted that you're not supposed to bring outside food and beverage.
Yeah, but how does that affect the theater negative? How does that affect the theater going experience negatively? Every one of these other things, I can understand how it would ruin something, like if someone smuggled in food by me, but...
Yeah, what if they bring in, like, soup?
Okay.
Like smelly onion garlic soup.
I love the smell of onion garlic soup. I would be okay with that.
In a movie theater?
Yeah.
Now you're capping. Okay.
Well, I mean,
thank
who
you for
would be
playing.
bringing soup in, first off?
I've seen people bring in a thermos before.
Oh, that person's cooking, man. That person's got the right idea. Maybe I got to start bringing it in the soup.
That sounds awful. Please never do that. All right. Thank you for playing Keep 3 Cut 5. Yeah, that was fun.
Let us know how you did at home.
Yes, let us know how you did at home. What did you decide to keep? All right. Do you have any orders of business?
Oh, well, first we have to do the parentheses. Then we do the exponential. Then multiplication and division, interchangeable, but typically multiplication first. Though it does depend on notation.
It really took me so long to figure out what the fuck you were talking about. Yes, PEMDAS, congratulations.
Oh, no, I don't really think I have anything else to bring to the table before we talk about frickin' Megalopolis, baby.
Yeah, okay, so Megalopolis. I had never seen it. I knew very little about it. I know slightly more about it now. And having seen the movie and read some of the complaints, I heard that Francis Ford Coppola was like going into that nightclub scene and like kissing background actors and actresses and like was like, I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. And there was no intimacy coordinator, which is surprising. I guess not surprising. Let me go back. I don't find it surprising because I think that intimacy coordinators are a new thing in the public consciousness. So like it doesn't I know that there have been the job intimacy coordinator, but I don't think that it was something that everybody had to have, or it was something that the public knew about and expected until recently. And I would say probably me too. As a if I had to guess when that entered public consciousness. But there is no intimacy coordinator, which again I find odd because there's a lot of sexual shit in this movie, and Aubrey Plaza, God, had everybody's balls in a vice. So knowing nothing going in, knowing more coming out, it's not looking good. But before I say what my thoughts specifically on how I liked it are, what about you? Like, what is your...
So we open the floor to you, and you start, and then mid-paragraph stop and fling it on someone else?
No, I'm like, let's both get to the line, right?
Okay. I knew very little going in. I had heard about things like, the production, like I talked about in the pre-show. I had heard about like some sexual misconduct on set. And with that, CJ, what did you think about the movie?
Why?
What?
Why?
What?
You laughed. You know what you're doing. No, this movie's bad, but an interesting kind of bad. Because like That's My Boy is bad. It makes me laugh. It's funny how bad it is. This movie is bad, but it was made from the auspices of being good. Because there's a ton of people in this that all did this because it's Francis Ford Coppola, and you would follow, if you're a creative, you would go through hoops to work with Francis Ford Coppola just to have that in your repertoire, right? And, like, of course this movie is going to be good. This movie, I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's cohesive. And I don't know that it could have been fixed in editing. I think that what they shot in principle is not a film, like, for modern consumption, right? Like, if Francis Ford Coppola wanted to say, this is my magnum opus, this does every artistic thing that I want to do. I'm going to paint with every brush in my kit. I'm going to use all the tools in my tool bag. And at the end of it, I'm going to be left with Megalopolis. Then fine. Like, whatever. But it feels like it's that plus this is going to be commercially successful. And that is where the wheels fall off this apple cart, because this movie is like a triangle trying to fit into no hole. This is a triangle peg trying to fit through a fucking solid wooden box. It doesn't make any sense. I almost feel like my hyperbole is doing it a disservice. I know what happens in the movie, and we're gonna, obviously Tommy will recount it for us here in a minute. I don't know what the story that they wanted to tell was that was not translated into the end product, because there is such a large gap for me. I can't even see my way out of the forest.
Yeah. Just kind of springboarding off of that last thought. My big takeaway is this movie is overstuffed. This has so many ideas that Francis Ford Coppola has clearly been ruminating on for decades and just really showed no restraint in their incorporation, where it's just too crammed of a film to really like end up as anything coherent or resonant in any way. Like it really feels like they just took every type of paint and splattered it on the canvas. But when you do that, when you combine every color, you end up with mush.
You end up with brown. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really agree with you in that. Do I think this is good? No. Do I think it's interesting? Incredibly. I think it's an incredibly interesting film. I did genuinely have a good time watching it. It reminded me a lot of Armageddon in a way, where, you know, as you watch it, I think with Megalopolis, there's a bit more of a question mark when you watch it. Like, is this good? But ultimately, the answer is no, though there is a lot of enjoyment in the act of watching it because of how bombastic it is and how just absurd it is at times and how big of swings it takes. And not just that, but how many big swings it takes.
I was going to say, I'm glad with the words that you chose. Bombastic, big swings. Because what it comes down to for Megalopolis is that there is no connection, right? Like, it attempts to make these big things, but even its biggest attempts and biggest set pieces and biggest whatever fall so completely flat at almost every juncture. And I do agree. It's interesting. What I find interesting about it is almost academic. Because I would not recommend, I guess we're jumping ahead of the show. This is not something you put on and are like, oh, I'm going to have an afternoon with the kids. Like, this isn't something you put on Sunday while you're folding laundry. Like, this is an exercise in, I mean, is it too far to say, like, an auteur's arrogance? Like, I don't know, and we'll definitely get into it, but this feels like it could not succeed. Who watched the fucking cut of this and was
Francis Ford Coppola.
No, I'm saying, but who saw the first screening of this and was like, this is good to go. Ship it.
I'm telling you, it's just Francis Ford Coppola. He's the only one that matters.
I like so morbidly want to recount and do the recap for this because I like genuinely I don't even know how much there is to recount. I don't know what happens.
Well, too bad. Buckle in, CJ, because it's my recap and
I'm
you're
timing
coming
it.
along with me, whether you like it or not. But truly, like, I think with this one, there's so much ridiculous stuff in any given scene. Like, CJ, please jump in at any time.
Honestly, I think we're going to have to do that for this one.
Okay. So let's hop into that before we start talking about the movie too much. Megalopolis stars Adam Driver. He is our main principal character. He plays a guy named Caesar Catalina. This is like a futuristic New York kind of alternate reality. And I should say up front, I'll talk about this later. This is very much a retelling in a way of the Catalanarian conspiracy, which is like an attempted coup back at near the end of the Roman Republic as it was transitioning into the Roman Empire. And we were talking a lot about like, what are they trying to do here? I think that's the main thing Francis Ford Coppola was trying to do, is tell this allegory of the downfall of the Roman Republic, tie it into more modern times, and then some. So
yeah, I definitely, I knew that part of it. I apologize. I just feel like the only way to do this movie is to do this piece by piece. How do you like Adam Driver as an actor, as like a main actor?
I do. I think he has some really good performances. I can't say I've seen too many things where he is like the main star and it's like an Adam Driver vehicle. Not to say this is an Adam Driver vehicle.
Sure.
But I do like him. I think that he has a very distinct quality about himself.
Yeah.
Where I think in the year of 2026, an actor looking very distinct or just like, not falling into traditional Hollywood archetypes with a bunch of work done, that goes a long way in our modern day when so many actors are almost being ironed out to all look similar.
They get Flanderized.
Yeah. So I like him for his physical distinction, but I do think that he's a good actor. I really liked him in The Last Duel. He was
in Marriage Story.
Yes, he was really great in Marriage Story,
Yes.
one of my favorite movies from 2019. And I mean, who could forget the 2023 classic 65?
He was also Kylo Ren, right?
Of course.
So I think most people's exposure to him is going to be Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that's where I first encountered him.
And I think that Adam Driver is a better actor than Kylo Ren is a character. I think Kylo Ren is a really dumb character.
Well, we're not going to rehash all of our Star Wars arguments on this.
No, we're not. But just like...
But sounds like we both like Adam Driver as an actor.
Yeah, you really didn't want to go into that one. Okay.
No, because it's gonna turn into a rabbit hole all over again.
All right. If I promise no rabbit hole, will you tell me your thoughts on Kylo Ren as a character?
He a lot of promise, and then they bad after The Last Jedi.
Well, yeah, I think basically that's how most characters end in that trilogy. But yeah. So
to summarize, I think he's really good until the Rise of Skywalker happened.
I also think he has a really distinct voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Sorry. Yes, he plays Caesar.
So can we restart the timer that you started for the recap? Because that turned into Adam Driver hour.
No.
Wow. So you're just going to take me on detours of your own volition and then
I
add
have
it to your
restarted
time?
the timer.
Okay. So our movie starts with Adam Driver, who plays Caesar Catalina. And he's standing at the top of a skyscraper and pretty much demonstrates to the audience he has the ability to stop time. What this actually means is a bit nebulous. Does gravity stop when he does this? Do things just slow down? Never really clear, and also never really actually has any impact on the plot. So may as well forget about the fact that he can stop time.
Doesn't matter at all.
At all.
It doesn't matter at all. It literally could not have been in the film, and it would have been fine. It's not like a very interesting visual effect either. He does it the first time that they use it on clouds. And it's like, okay, well that's... Just take a fucking picture and have him stand against a green screen. That's how you do that effect. That's how an 8th grader does that effect. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you showing here? And so the whole movie... Okay, go on.
So we're introduced to him. There's a bunch of characters in this film. And I think the next one who's most important to mention is Natalie Emanuel. She is the daughter of the mayor. I'll get to the mayor in a second. And
The
Natalie
mayor. What? The mayor? The mayor.
Yeah, the horse who runs the city.
I was doing a Final Fantasy VII bit. Sorry.
Oh. So Natalie Emanuel is kind of this disaffected daughter of the mayor, and she sees, so Adam Driver's an architect. He's like the head architect for the city. She sees him demoing a building, and he slows down time during it. And for some reason, she's the only one unaffected by this. So she's like, whoa, what was that? And there's then this big event, this televised event talking about the future of the city. And here is where we meet a lot of the players, but the big ones are Giancarlo Esposito. He plays the mayor of the city, Franklin Cicero. There's also John Voight. He plays Hamilton Crassus, and he plays the bank of the city. Kinda. He's the bank of the city. He bankrolls the mayor. He's money. There's also Shia LaBeouf, who is in the picture. He is Adam Driver's cousin. And I think those are kind of our big players, are Adam Driver, Natalie Emanuel, Giancarlo Esposito as the mayor, John Voight as the banker. Shia LaBeouf. And then there's also Aubrey Plaza as WoW Platinum. Which,
yes.
10 out of 10 character name, WoW Platinum.
Yeah.
She is kind of like the lead newscaster in the city. Investigative journalist in a way, 60 Minutes, really a lot of news things rolled into one.
You get the idea at some point that she had a promising journalism career, and now she's more of like she's more of like a tabloid gossipy person.
Yeah.
She's great in this movie. She's probably one of my favorite performances.
Yeah. And, there are a lot of actors in this film, a lot of whom their roles ultimately don't have much consequence. Like Lawrence Fishburne's in this, Dustin Hoffman is in this, Talia Shire's in this, Jason Schwartzman is in this. But
yes, Jason Schwartzman is technically in this.
Yeah. So there is this big televised event where pretty much Giancarlo Esposito and Adam Driver are going back and forth on the future of the city, the direction it needs to head. Giancarlo Esposito wants to build a casino for immediate tax revenue, and Adam Driver, he wants to build Megalopolis. He wants to build a utopic city that is like ever evolving. And he's going to do this using a substance he has invented called Megalon. He won like a Nobel Prize because of it. And just in general, they are these two opposing sides, Giancarlo Esposito and Adam Driver, where Giancarlo Esposito is much more conservative. And I wouldn't say Adam Driver is more liberal. I would say he's just very art-driven, art-centered. He is representing art and artists to some degree. So they have this public spat. Through the course of this, and Natalie Emanuel kind of becomes interested in Adam Driver, especially because she saw him slow down time. And the two of them, she kind of comes over and visits, and he shows her his vision for Megalon, and she loves it. She's into it. They're suddenly on the same team. Also, in the midst of all this, we do some checking in on WoW Platinum. Pretty much her background is she had a relationship with Adam Driver, but it's kind of breaking off. Adam Driver lost his wife years ago. It seems that to an outside observer that he might have killed her, though that was really just a false misrepresentation and accusation by Giancarlo Esposito, who before he was the mayor, he was the DA. So there's kind of this air of, did he kill his wife around him with Adam Driver? But anyway, Adam Driver, he's going on a voyage in the city to go and like kind of mourn his deceased wife. Natalie Emanuel follows him and is like, oh my God, he still loves his wife. He didn't kill her. And then in the background with Aubrey Plaza kind of falling out of favor with Adam Driver and whatnot, she is now hooking up with John Voight, who, again, is the richest man in the town, and they are getting married. And it's like they go to Madison Square Garden. That's where the wedding is. And it's this 20-minute ordeal at Madison Square Garden where it's supposed to be the Coliseum. And we see a lot of like people outside, regular people. Some people are very against Adam Driver. Some are for him. There's a lot of like classism at play. And we have this long ass gladiator sequence and musical performance and all of this stuff. Pretty much what this amounts to is Shia LaBeouf plays a video of Adam Driver having sex with this pop star who this whole deal with her image is that she is a virgin and will remain a virgin until she's married. Also, she's supposed to be underage. She's supposed to be like 16 or something. And she's very symbolic in this ultra conservative society. They value her chasteness, right? Her chastity. And by playing this video, everyone was like, oh my God, Adam Driver, how could you?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Turns
People
out
are donating money for her to remain a virgin. It was really... I thought they were buying her virginity at one point. It's like, no, they want her to stay that way.
Yes.
It's like, what?
And this is a character who, going back to the whole Roman allegory, is supposed to represent the character's name is Vesta Sweetwater, and she's supposed to be the Vestal virgins who back in Roman times were supposed to remain chaste until they were like 30. And the actual Lucius Sergius Catalina was accused of sleeping with one, which was punishable by death. So again, just cramming this allegory into there.
We were just making shit up back in the day. You are going to remain celibate until you are 30, and nobody wants to sleep with you. It's like, why? 'Cause you are the Vestal Virgin, and we want you to be chaste. What about the guys? No, they fuck everybody. They fuck so much they get it wrong sometimes. Proceed, sorry.
So after this whole fallout thing, and like ultimately Adam Driver is what's the word? I'm blanking on CJ. Not vindicated. But like proven innocent in the eyes of the public.
You keep going, I'll think of the word.
Yeah, so it comes out that no,
exonerated.
Yes, he is exonerated in the eyes of the public because Natalie Emanuel does some digging at the mayor's office, finds out that not only is Vesta like not a virgin, she's also an adult. All of her public stuff was a lie. Blah blah blah. She
turns into like a pop punk queen.
Yeah. Also, Adam Driver, as a result of this, gets like beaten up and he loses his ability to stop time. But then Natalie Emanuel and Adam Driver are walking on some girders suspended above the city and learn they can stop time when they're together. What? Oh my God, they're a couple now. So they're together. And while they do their stuff in the background, Shia LaBeouf takes to the streets and is slowly... He's kind of doing two things. On one front, he and Wow Platinum, Aubrey Plaza, who is now married to John Voight, richest man in the city, they are plotting together to kind of overthrow John Voight and then be installed, the two of them, in his place. Simultaneously, Shia LaBeouf is turning to the streets and talking to... He's becoming an orator in public and giving a bunch of populist speeches to the poor class, the disenfranchised, and riling them up. He's really stirring the pot.
He's doing his goddamnedest to be a populist, while he is literally the reason that the people are suffering.
Yes. He is like literally part of the bank family and going to be owning the banks, which is something I wanted to bring up later. So, that all is going. There's like a bunch of rising tension. All of the sudden, a satellite comes crashing down onto New York City, decimates a lot of it.
Don't worry, because that's not important at all. That doesn't matter. A satellite destroys half the city.
No,
they don't even show it.
CJ, it's symbolic.
They don't even show it.
No, they show the shadows on the buildings.
That's it. Of the people, not of the satellite.
So this satellite crashes down, also leads into a scene that in theaters, like at festivals and when it was originally in select theater showings around the country, they had an audience member step up and deliver a line to Adam Driver as an interviewer, as a reporter that Adam Driver then answers on screen. I just wanted to bring that up because we'll talk about it later. But now, a lot of the city is decimated, and it serves as a moment for Adam Driver to use that part of the city to kind of install a bit of his and start building Megalopolis kind of and show people this is what it could be. While this is also going on, Natalie Emanuel she finds out she's pregnant. They announce it to her dad and mom. Because of this and this developing relationship, Giancarlo Esposito, as Shia LaBeouf and WoW Platinum are rising in power, Giancarlo Esposito's role as antagonist kind of dims a bit. And, he grows to develop a relationship with Adam Driver over the span of like 2 scenes as he learns Natalie Emanuel is pregnant with Adam Driver's child and also Giancarlo Esposito's grandson or daughter, which they say if it's born, we'll name him Francis. Anyway.
They even have a scene where like Giancarlo's, they're like talking about Adam Driver and he's like, listen, I don't really even have a problem. How is he going to do it? Like, he's saying he's going to do all this crazy shit. How is he going to do it? Like, basically, I took Giancarlo Esposito's point to be like, yeah, okay, cool. You want a utopia? How are you going to do it? Tell me how you're going to do it. How are you going to build it? And it's like, with Megalon. It's like, that's like someone telling you, I'm going to get married with what? Concrete. Like, it just, nothing about, okay, sorry. There'll be time for this later. But I'm sitting here like, also, why would you Megalon can be anything. Megalon, like, can be made into anything, and he makes it into flowers. Make it into buildings.
That's part of the city. That the buildings are the flowers, CJ. When it rains, the flowers put a petal over you, so you're sheltered. That is the city.
Who wants that?
You just are bound to
your
perception
Esposito
of what life is now as opposed to what it could be. You are the fish in the pond, and should I reach into the pond and grab you and pull you out, you become
You're quoting
inundated.
the movie, right?
No, I'm quoting a different book I'm reading.
Oh.
You will realize that it's just not your pond, it's every other pond is in existence at the same time, too, and it's something you never could have comprehended.
I'm just letting you know, you could have told me you're quoting the movie. That's some random shit that they would have said in the movie. Because that's how they talk. Like, we're doing the summary, but literally they don't have conversations with each other. It'll be like, just quotes. Like, communicate through each other through, like, quotes and allegory.
Oh, my God, yeah. The dialogue, I know that we have notes about talking about the dialogue later. The dialogue is wild. Did you ever see all over the charts?
Did you ever see Romeo plus Juliet?
Of
I think
course
it's Baz
I did.
Luhrmann.
It's
like they're talking like that. But that movie,
Shakespeare
at least
from
makes
another
sense.
dimension.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so we're going to talk like Shakespeare, but we're doing Shakespeare. They talk like they're Rome, but they're not doing, they're trying to do Rome, but they're not doing Rome. Like actual Rome, right? Because they'll be like, this is New Rome, and then there'll be a sign that'll be like New York Public Transport.
Yeah, it's pretty fast and loose with whether or not it's Rome or New York.
It literally looks like they just went to Caesars for the weekend in Jersey.
With a yellow tint over it.
Yeah, because so that you know they're in Mexico.
Yes. Okay.
All right, sorry.
Let's get back to the plot. So all of those things are going on at once. Just to recap, Adam Driver has kind of now become a family unit with his former nemesis, Giancarlo Esposito, but Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf are planning a big takeover of the city on two fronts, both taking over the bank from John Voight and also kind of riling up the people in the streets. So Aubrey Plaza meets up with Adam Driver. Is like, hey, I see you've been building Megalopolis with all your Megalon, but what if we team up together? Me, you, and John Voight's bank. We'd be great. And he's like, no thanks. And she and Shia LaBeouf are like, all right, let's frickin' get him. So John Voight's henchman hires a kid to attempt to assassinate Adam Driver, shoots him in the brain, but they rebuild his skull with Megalon, so he's ultimately fine.
Point blank headshot didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Then he has see-through brain, which they show earlier with see-through dress, which, for all you weirdos out there, is not what you're thinking it is. You could see through her, not through her dress.
She's like the Invisible Man.
Yeah, the Invisible Man. Yeah, exactly. You know what the most egregious part about getting shot in the fucking head was? That didn't matter either.
No, but it gave him a near-death experience where he saw his dead wife.
Is that what happened? Keep going.
You don't remember all of the naked woman body that then dissolved into like 3 or 4 different people who are stones?
Yeah, that's right.
So he survives this assassination attempt, and concurrently Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf are like, all right, let's leap into action and take over John Voight's bank. And while Shia LaBeouf is kind of enacting his plan and John Voight realizes what happens, John Voight has a stroke. So then Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf are kind of just like acting as the heads of the bank then, even though John Voight's alive, but he's bedridden.
I want to clarify that a little bit.
Yeah.
So the audience understands. What actually happened was they told him what they were going to do, basically, and he had a stroke by accident.
Oh, yes. Well, it was Shia LaBeouf and him in the bathhouse, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was when John Voight realizes that it's a hostile takeover, then he has
because
this
he's
stroke.
like, oh, so you're gonna be this. What am I gonna be? And Shia LaBeouf's like, what do you mean? What are you gonna be?
His nephew or son or whatever he is betraying him, and that causes the stroke.
Yeah, and that's what caused the stroke. But literally, it was like, hey, this is what we're doing, Uncle. Like, they all but told him, we're trying to push you out of your own bank. What do you think of that? Like, that's basically how that scene played out.
Pretty much.
And, yeah, sorry. I was just like, because in the moment, like, the scene before, Aubrey Plaza's like, this is what you're gonna do. Auntie, because she, like, makes him call her auntie. And then she's like, this is what you're gonna do for me. And then he's like, well, okay. And he's like eating her box. And then it's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. The next scene, at the end of the scene, he's like, well, he's not going to like that. And then the next scene, he doesn't like it and he has a stroke.
Pretty much. That's pretty much how it went, yeah.
And like, she went to him and was like, yeah, you're going to eat my box, right?
And she cuts off his ponytail.
Yeah, yes, she does.
So this all unfolds. Adam Driver and Natalie Emanuel get married. She has her kid. Some time passes, and the tensions in the city. This is kind of leading into our final act, or not even act, just our final couple scenes. The tension in the city is really high. They've had their baby. They, as part of the mayoral family, are being escorted around like underground with guards. And Shia LaBeouf has been really riling up the populace outside. Like, they want blood. And they as in Shia LaBeouf and Aubrey Plaza go to John Voight, who just going back a little bit, not related to the plot. Earlier in the film, Jon Voight gets a Robin Hood costume. And he talks a lot about like his legacy and whatnot. And this scene starts where Shia LaBeouf and Aubrey Plaza walk in and they're like, wow, he's so close to being dead. Our plan is working. He can barely talk. He can barely move. And then Jon Voight's awake and he has something poking out. He has something poking up from underneath his Robin Hood robe. And he says, you like this boner I got? And they're like, what? And then he reveals that underneath his robe, he has a tiny bow and arrow, which he uses to shoot Aubrey Plaza, who's dressed as Cleopatra, shoots her in the chest with this tiny bow and arrow.
Clean kill shot, by the way.
Like she is
shot
dead
her
instantly.
shot her under her breast. Then, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, think about like a little like Fisher Price bow and arrow, how hard you could probably shoot that, how the arrow probably goes like, a couple feet. He shoots her and it is embedded in her sternum like 4 to 5 inches deep.
Yeah. Like he killed her. He shot her in through the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he shoots old boy Shia LaBeouf in the ass.
Uh-huh. As he's fleeing.
And then Shia LaBeouf has to like crawl away with a bow in his ass. And then he gets shot again. Because not only did this old man allegedly suffering from whatever have this bow that he reloaded it twice.
Yeah,
And
it's
aimed
ridiculous.
from bed. And then he got up and he's like, well, I better take care of my man. I don't know if you said it, but they froze Caesar's accounts. Like all of this was like a big power play to like fuck over Caesar.
Yes. So all of this tension in the streets, and pretty much it resolves in Adam Driver going up to where he started building Megalopolis and giving this big speech to all of these really, really, really mad citizens. And is pretty much like, the utopia, we'll do it together. It's going to be a better time for everyone. It's going to be a process. It's not going to be overnight, but it's going to be good. And just preaches Megalopolis and New Rome and everything. And that is enough to just completely change every mind of all of these people who were entirely embittered and had fallen into a lot of the fascist pipeline that Shia LaBeouf had been spoon feeding them. They all of a sudden have a big change of heart and are on team Megalopolis. Also, Giancarlo Esposito, have to mention, giving a speech on the news while wearing an army helmet, very reminiscent of General Patton. And yeah, ultimately everyone is like, yeah, Megalopolis, it's good. And they do with Shia LaBeouf, they all turn on Shia LaBeouf. They finally realize, wait, you own the banks? And they hang him in the streets like Mussolini. And it's a hopeful ending looking to a brighter tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
Well, you forgot the most important part.
What part did I forget? When
Giancarlo Esposito puts aside his prejudice and his hatred for Caesar and rides the little walkway.
You're right. Well, right. Yes, you're right. Yeah. They're a family.
Yeah, they are now a family. Okay. So, that is the recap. 25 minutes.
Not bad with all of the side expeditions we went on.
Yeah, but that's how you have to do this movie. So, I said it a few times. There's just shit in this movie that just... I'm saying it doesn't make sense, but what I really mean is... they don't do anything with it.
No, 100%. It's not like... Can this movie be confusing at times? Totally. The visual language and actual language of it are incoherent at times.
Okay. The movie starts with us seeing his ability to pause time. Okay.
Right.
Then, later, there is a satellite that crashes down and it's going to hit the city.
Right.
He doesn't stop time!
Well, wait, hold on. I'm scanning through the thing. Was that... Oh, no. Well, maybe he wasn't by Natalie Emanuel in that moment, because that was after they had discovered they can only stop time together.
But they don't do anything when they stop time. There's no purpose to it.
So I guess.
And then
I
at
do
the
have,
end, the baby's the one that stops time.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about that. But I guess were they to stop time as the satellite is crashing down, realistically, what could they do?
He could have saved people.
This is true. This is true. Would he have evacuated the whole city, though?
If I had the ability to stop time and save people from Katrina, I would at least get a couple carfuls.
Okay, I hear you. Another counterpoint. I took the opening scene of him doing the time stop and stepping off the building, and then it resumes shortly after. I personally read that as he can't stop time for forever. Every time we see him stop or slow down time, it only happens for like, I don't know, a 15, 20-second window.
Sure.
But I do think that that's generally lost.
But
yeah.
they don't introduce any rules to it.
No, not because it's
not important.
Forgotten about. Once, I guess, yeah, this was one of the big things I wanted to talk about was the time stop. So let's just get it out of the way. After he and Natalie Emanuel discover they can stop time together, them stopping time, they don't stop time once, and that's halfway through the movie. The next time time is stopped, I'm pretty sure, is when the baby does it in the final shot, right?
Yeah, I think he does it twice. He does it in the beginning, and then when they paused on the building, when she realizes he can stop time.
Right.
He then shows her at one point how to do it, and then they do it together when he's having his crisis of conscience.
Yeah, and it never once factors into the plot, which whatever, not everything needs to factor into the plot.
It's a you have the power to stop time.
I know, and I was going to say like it could not factor into the plot but still factor into our characters, you know, just the character aspect of it all or work on a thematic level.
It
but
is
like
the
we've
same
said,
as saying that he has green eyes.
Well, I was going to say there is just so much crammed into this movie on so many different fronts that any semblance of what him having the ability to stop time, any possible metaphor that can function as is so immediately thrown out the window because there's just a billion metaphors going on at any given moment. Who's going to win the standoff?
Oh.
What were you up to, CJ? For the listener, I'm definitely trimming that down. I finished my sentence, and then I sat there for about 45 seconds.
I swear to God, I thought it was your turn.
I was talking, and then I stopped.
I know, that's so my fault. What were we talking about?
Oh my gosh, CJ, stop browsing TikTok. I could hear your keyboard clacking in the background.
No keyboard clacking, I promise.
Oh, I'm going to boost your audio there, and everyone's going to hear the keyboard clacking.
Okay.
Wait, let's instant review. Yeah, those were definitely keyboard clacks.
All right, listen. My bad. What were we talking about?
We were talking about him time stopping.
Yes.
And I was saying that, you know, it doesn't factor into the plot. And at that point, you're like, okay, well, how does it work as a metaphor for the character? And I was saying it just doesn't, because there's so much crammed into it that if everything is a metaphor, you have no solid ground to stand on.
Yeah, I think this movie thinks it's doing a lot, but does nothing at all. I genuinely think that there's some wisdom somewhere that it's like, oh, well, this is a very interesting, but it doesn't do anything. This is like a Chekhov's gun. When is he gonna stop time for some meaningful purpose? He's not.
It is the worst violation of Chekhov's gun I have ever seen.
And maybe you're Francis Ford Coppola and you've earned the right to try that. But you know what I think? You also have earned the right to fail. Like, and that failed. That didn't work. There's no... It's also... Okay. In my mind, if something's not going to be interesting to the plot, it better be visually interesting. And if it's not going to be visually interesting, it better be narratively or character-wise interesting. Because something can be character interesting, but not narratively interesting, right? Like, in terms of advancing the plot or navigating the story, right? Like, something can be, if it doesn't look cool, it better be cool. If it isn't cool, it doesn't do anything, then it's not cool. And I feel like the whole movie just is built on that type of energy, where it's like, okay, nothing happens. Like the whole, I was telling you, like, I don't understand what's going on. I said that multiple times during a review of it, and part of it's because I don't genuinely understand how these events are related. What do the fucking virgins have to do with anything? It's a 30-minute detour to introduce John Voight?
It's a 30-minute detour to set up the fact that Aubrey Plaza is married to John Voight. And also,
a newspaper clipping would have done the same thing. It's not even an interesting set piece.
And also, well, hold on a second. Calm down. Not an interesting set piece. They got Ben-Hur going on in the frickin' Madison Square Garden.
They do. They had Chariot. That's right.
So, yeah, it's like, what did that entire sequence serve to do? Okay, well, what happened there? Aubrey Plaza and John Voight got married. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shia LaBeouf was running around doing shenanigans and played the video of Adam Driver sleeping with the pop star. And that led to Adam Driver getting chased and beaten up. And then it was kind of the breaking point, and he can't use his powers, which is resolved very shortly after. It's like not long after that he and Natalie Emanuel actually get together. It's pretty much right after she exonerates him. So it's establishing a wedding. It's establishing,
she worked for him for like a day, and then they started dating.
I think there's a little passage of time. I think it's more than a day, but yeah, it's not great. It really feels like, you know, kind of going back to this Roman allegory that Francis Ford Coppola wanted to tell with this. It feels like, you know, taking things that happened in that time, and it's like, well, we got to include this somehow, even if it doesn't really factor into things or can be trimmed down. And with this part specifically, there's all of the stuff about like the Vestal virgins that I talked about.
Yeah.
But this also,
that also doesn't do anything, you know?
Yeah, it really feels like, well, we're including it in our story that is totally fictitious because it kind of happened in real life in this story we are paralleling. It's like, but you don't need to do that. You don't need to include everything. But like another example in this scene of something that happened for real was Giancarlo Esposito then gets up and begins giving a bunch of speeches just slandering Adam Driver, which apparently is supposed to parallel a lot of actual orations that happened at that time in history of the Cicero then bashing Catalina and whatnot. Like, okay, so is this only serving to parallel history? Is that the whole point of this 20-minute escapade?
Can I tell you that the movie definitely, it doesn't, okay. If the movie wants you to be on Caesar's side, it does a really poor job. If it wants you to be on the mayor's side, it does a really poor job. If it wants you to hear what they're saying and make your mind up for yourself, it does an even worse job, because I don't know what either of their positions are, other than one of them is pro-Megalon, and the other one is anti-Megalon. The other one is pro-concrete, which is like a literal thing that they said at some point. Like, I don't know, because they don't speak. They speak in riddle and rhyme, and they talk in like pattern, and they just say things. And you're supposed to understand, like, oh, well, when he says, you know, this, I felt like I was the kid in 10th grade English complaining that Shakespeare's not written in English. Like, I genuinely, I had trouble comprehending what they were actually trying to say. And, like, you know, one of the things on here is dialogue. Part of me is like, okay, well, they are not having dialogue, right? They are just speaking at each other. They're not having conversations, and I say that because nothing is advanced through dialogue. So if nothing is advanced in the plot through dialogue, and if nothing is advanced in the plot through action, then what is happening? Things are happening.
It's through all of the visual metaphors, CJ. Like, you know, the fact that John Voight wears the Robin Hood outfit and then at the end says, I'm going to give away all my money. That will be my legacy.
Yeah, he turns into Ebenezer Scrooge for no reason.
Oh,
like, you didn't have some kind of weird negative interaction. What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? His nephew or whatever tried to kidnap him. Not kidnap him.
We don't even
supplant
see him be a jerk. You know what I mean? Like, John Voight is just basically like, oh, I can have sex with Aubrey Plaza? Who wouldn't do that?
We see him being an old creep. I don't recall many things that we see from him that are like, wow, this is a detestable character aside from him being an old creep.
Listen, I agree that I think it's kind of gross when really old people are dating people that are like 30 or 40 years younger than them. But I get why. Like, I get why you would want to sleep with Aubrey Plaza. I would like to sleep with Aubrey Plaza. She's a very attractive young woman. I find her pretty. But, like, you know, at the same time, like, I'm not dating, like, if I were to date someone 30 years old, younger than me, she'd be 2. You know what I mean? It feels gross. You know, but I don't, so he's gross, but I don't think he's like a bad, we don't see him like kick people out of orphanages or,
no,
you know.
He's not portrayed as explicitly a villain or an antagonist. He's more just kind of like a means to an end for other characters.
Yeah, he like exists because he, like, Shia LaBeouf needs a lever to do what he's going to do later.
I'm with you. It's, oh God, what did we start talking about with this?
We started talking about the time stopping, and then I pivoted to dialogue, and I'm like,
yeah, I think, God, so much of this all ties together. Because, like, yeah, the dialogue isn't great. And I think that's because this story really tries to lean on the visual metaphor and visual storytelling of things. There's a lot of, like, just random shots we see of things that are, like, you know, clearly not actually happening in the reality of the film. Things like Natalie Emanuel walking into Giancarlo Esposito's office, and for like a second she sees
he's in sand.
Yeah, the floor is sand and his desk is half sunken into it and he is half sunken into it. And at one point, like, Adam Driver's driving around a pretty derelict part of the city, and there's a lot of disenfranchised people hanging out in the streets, and there's, like, he is seeing moving and broken statues of, like, you know, the Lady of Justice or whatever she's called. Or,
I remember,
like,
when I saw that, I was like, man, do you think the mayor would have somebody come down here and clean it up?
Yeah. And, like, there are like 4 or 5 different statues like that. Or like there's at one point where, like, someone dreams a full moon being taken away from a hand that emerges from a cloud. And it really feels like through a lot of these things, Francis Ford Coppola is attempting to tell the story he wants to tell. Though, going back to what we've talked about, this is just overstuffed with ideas. I jotted down a handful, a smattering of the themes that it attempts to tackle. Things like downfalls of republics in place of empires, or art being required to prevent a fall into fascism, or the corruption and decay of journalism and journalistic integrity, or the inundation of masses through entertainment, or the failure of justice in corrupt societies, or class warfare and class divides, or the oppression of art by elites. And there's so much more. Like, those are just ones that came to me off the top of my head. It feels like it's trying to have a voice about all of these things and be about all of these things at once, and you just have alphabet soup at the end of the day.
Am I doing the thing again?
You're doing the thing again.
I am so sorry. Yes.
TikTok can wait, CJ. TikTok can wait.
I know. Yeah, I agree. It has so many visual themes and so many things that I just feel like it's not clear what isn't real and what's not real. You said that it's so it's like calorie dense. It's like neutral loaf. You know, it's trying to be every film he's ever wanted to make.
Yes.
In the worst way, not a compliment possible.
You know, we talked a little bit in the pre-show about how this is a movie that was in the making for like almost 5 decades, right? He has wanted to make this for a very long time. I can't imagine
this movie coming out in the 70s. It would be up there with that fucking movie where the woman eats dog shit.
Oh, like, but that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, it's I read a quote on the making of this. Let me find this real quick.
Yes, please find the quote. I'm like talking out loud now, so we don't have a gap. The second time, I swear to God, that was my fault. Oh, I apologize.
So this is a quote that I pulled just from the Wikipedia page. Over the next 4 decades, he collected notes and newspaper clippings for scrapbooks detailing intriguing subjects he envisioned. So when I hear that line, 4 decades of scrapbooking ideas for a movie, I almost picture like a filing cabinet bursting at the seams with material. And it feels like he cut none of it. He just put everything in.
He couldn't have cut any of it. This has everything and the kitchen sink and your neighbor's kitchen sink in it too. There's no restraint. You know, I think that the attitude a lot of times when we talk about creatives is, why don't studios give so-and-so person more leash, right? Like, you know they're going to make a good thing. Why don't you let them make the movie that they want to make? They'll point to this reason why you can't just have the movie you want to make. I know that, like, it is a conversation that is really nuanced, but it's not always in the best interest of a project to allow one creative voice or vision unilateral direction over a project. And I'll say this, look at something as ambitious as American Horizon, right? Or Horizon and American, whatever it was called.
I think you're the only person in the country who saw that movie.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to it, but I mean, I knew at the time it was ambitious, but the first movie, nothing happens.
Hey, you're forgetting that there's a montage at the end.
There's a montage about a movie that hasn't come out yet. That still hasn't come out. That movie was supposed to come out 2 movies in one summer, and then 1 movie in the fall and 1 movie next summer. I mean, that was summer of 2024. We're already going to be at 18 months at this point.
And apparently that second movie was done. Like, they were ready to release.
They still, like, now I have to look up where we are with that movie, but I think they're trying to work out, because if you remember, there was a lot of drama with Kevin Costner.
Yes.
He left Yellowstone, which I believe was like the #1 show on television or on cable. It might have been at that time. Yeah, so it's so funny. They say on the Wikipedia page, oh, it came out in 2024. No, it didn't. Okay, so it never came out. Okay, people have seen it. It was at the Venice Film Festival that fall. But because of how bad Chapter 1 did, they're like, no, we're not putting it out. Also, it's funny how they're doing this. So they basically shot it however they shot it, but they shot the first two together.
Right.
And so instead of $100 million budget, it's two $50 million budgets, and it couldn't make back a 38. It made 38 against 50. There was an unscripted rape scene.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the big thing that Kevin Costner is currently like facing legal action over. That I think is one of the many things stalling the release of Chapter 2.
Yeah, like this is just too big. It's too big of an idea. Now, whenever someone tells you, "Fine, I believe in this so much, I will pay with my own money," that's not a good sign. Francis Ford Coppola sold one of his wineries, you told me, right? He sold his vineyards.
Yeah.
And then he took out they formed a new winery, whatever, and then he sold a bunch of his equity in that winery to self-finance this film. And, just having the money to pay the bills is one thing, right? Because every film in Hollywood, quote-unquote, loses money. But at the same time, you have to get distribution. You have to have a marketing campaign. Francis Ford Coppola is not going to print out signs from Word and post them up on telephone poles. This project needed a much bigger marketing campaign than it got. So, it's just like there's so many reasons this movie failed, but anytime that I hear somebody be like, "Oh, I believe in this project so much, I'm going to put my own money behind it." That sounds like a bad idea. I don't know of an example off the top of my head of that working.
What, putting your own money into a project?
Like someone being like, "Okay, I'll do this film." Because it's like even Avatar. Avatar's not his own money.
I think just based off of my knowledge and other like Google's quickly, I know that M. Night pretty much self-finances like all of his own films after kind of going through, I wouldn't say something similar, but having a few stinkers at the studio. He then went back to basics and self-financed with The Visit, and it's turned into like, a pretty solid business model of him producing these relatively low budget films in the modern scheme of things, and modest success at the box office, which means making millions. But I'm with you. It doesn't happen too often, but like, you would have to look at like M. Night or James Cameron. I think you mentioned, God, I mean, Tommy Wiseau, The Room, that was entirely self-financed.
Okay. I do want to quickly address, because you did mention, The Visit. If you're saying all the movies that came after, like Split, Glass, Old, were also self-financed, the amount of money we're talking about for those is not even close. The Visit has a budget of $5 million. Split had a budget of $9 million.
Yeah.
Glass had a budget of 20, and Glass is like the big budget M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I would say even more recently, Trap had a budget of 30 mil.
Yeah, and see, that seems really high.
But that one made 83 mil. Like, it worked out in the end for them.
Yeah, you only get to do that when you do Glass, you self-finance, and do 247 against 20. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jim Henson bought back, I think, The Dark Crystal. I think I'm remembering this. It was either The Dark Crystal or Labyrinth. The Labyrinth is the one with David Bowie. So he bought back that movie from the producer from the studio, and he put up his own money for it. And I don't think that movie did particularly well. I mean, it's however people think about it now is one thing. I guess technically it made 34 against 25, but with marketing and everything, probably loses money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not always, I guess my final point on this, because we've been talking about this for a minute, I guess my final point is, it's not always a good indicator.
No. No.
Like, if everybody else passes on this, that should tell you something. Doesn't have to tell you everything, but it should tell you something.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, talking about this being such a core, this is very much a Francis Ford Coppola vision through and through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel this is a case of arrogance? Do you think he's out of touch in his octogenarian ways? Both? Something else?
I don't know. I think Megalopolis, as a movie that came out in 1982 or 1985, would be a dramatically different movie. It's so complicated because what I'm struggling with here is, do I think it's actual arrogance?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or is it just this had 40 years to gestate, so he made some bad decisions along the way that compounded?
Yeah, like if you had a 40-year gestation period, you'd come out one ugly-looking baby. Like, it takes on so much of the world around you. And
Sorry,
then,
I'm just jotting down. CJ thinks babies are ugly?
if they gestate for 40 years, please finish the quote. I think that, I said this at the beginning, I don't think you can save this movie in the edit. Like, if you and me put our expert minds to the task, I don't think that you and I could recut this film.
I think in order to salvage this, you have to swerve hard in the other direction. Of course, cut out a lot, but swerve hard in the other direction of making it less sensical. You just got to completely demolish this in the edit to improve it.
That's one way to do it. So, I'll say that I don't think that Francis Ford Coppola, who just made a movie recently that, like, fucking bombed, but it had a lot of people in it. Was it Jim Brooks? James L. Brooks?
Ella McKay?
Ella McKay, yeah. I think Ella McKay bombed at the box office. And I think it's a lot of what I read in reviews was, yeah, it made $4 million against 35. What I had heard was, this is like a movie that you could have made 30 years ago, but doesn't play in the current political or societal situation. Like, your well-meaning, well-to-do tone doesn't work as well as you might think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because basically the idea of the movie is like, hey, you're going to become governor for a day. And this is what she does with her day as governor. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I think that where I am settling on this question of whether or not this is arrogance or everything. What I think this is I don't think Francis Ford Coppola made an inherently bad film with this. I think we might just be super out of the target audience.
Who is it for?
I think Megalopolis might be the most 80 to 90-year-olds slop movie ever, because I can see myself at like 85 just getting stoned out of my mind and turning on Megalopolis and thinking it's the greatest movie ever. I think that is the audience for this film, is the 80-year-olds who want to just sit back. No, the 80-year-olds who just want to sit back and just be inundated with bright, flashy visuals, even though it's completely nonsensical, but in a way it's kind of old man yelling at cloud, shaking fist. And in a way I'm like, yes, there is a lot wrong with America. Yes. Oh, wow. This is a really fun to watch, Is
there any, before we get, and I don't have a lot to say about performances, is there anything left here on the bone that you want to talk about in terms of your in-depth thoughts?
Yeah, I have a couple things just wanted to talk on. They won't be too long, I think.
Yeah, no rush. Just
So dialogue choices. I wanted to just call out a couple things. I know this was one of more of your talking points, just how like it does feel like they are speaking Greek at times because of what they are saying and how nonsensical it is. They really, going with what we said earlier, this movie took some really big swings. Same goes with like a lot of the dialogue. A lot of the lines are delivered with an air of gravitas or an implication of deepness that is, it almost makes you scoff at times.
okay. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones was just an example of a line trying to say a lot is, when we leap into the unknown, we prove we are free.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And at one point he's questioned on this, like, what if we jump into the future and there's something scary there? And he's like, there's nothing to be afraid of if you love or have loved. That's an unstoppable force. And then he goes on to wax poetic on love being this unstoppable force linking things. But
if someone
again,
said those two quotes to me in sequence, I would be like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah. And like, I'm gonna be real, love isn't really a through line thematically in this. Like, maybe for a short stint of the film it is, but it's just another one of the many darts thrown at the dartboard here.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of on that note, that I talked about the quote of what if we go into you have nothing to fear. When we jump, we have nothing to fear, or whatever. When we leap into the unknown, and someone's like, but what if there's something scary in the unknown? So I talked about this with you a little bit during the film, but that line is actually originally delivered by a member of the audience. Which this was like the first I had ever heard of this happening. I'm sure that this has happened before, but part of Megalopolis's intended presentation, and this is the way that it was at Cannes and other film festivals, and also at select participating theaters in its theatrical run, is a member of the audience would typically volunteer. And when that part of the movie comes up, it's right after the satellite falls. We view a press conference where Adam Driver's sitting there, and the person is supposed to go up and like look up at the screen and speak into a microphone. And they ask the question, when we jump into the future, we should do so unafraid. But what if there's something we should be afraid of when we jump into the future? And it's supposed to be an audience member asking it. It's supposed to be this, breaking of the fourth wall, breaking of the medium, evolving the medium in a way. But when I told you about this in the moment, CJ, it was like when, that line that we just heard that was actually typically done by an audience member, you simply reacted with the words, "That's cringe." So I'd like to hear a little bit more your thoughts on why this is cringe.
I think audience participation in a visual medium is really stupid.
Now, real quick, can I just jump in and say this includes like improv, right? You don't like audience participation really at all.
I hate audience participation because either to get good audience participation, you're a plant, or I die of embarrassment. But I'm specifically talking about a movie. There's no reason why you should have audience participation in a movie, because that what the movie has already been filmed. It's not like Adam Driver's on the other side of the screen. Like, it's like you're paying an actor. It's just like, no, you have a film. You have a medium. You have the real estate for this. It's in the frame. What are you doing bringing it into the audience? Like in a Broadway show, yeah, make it more immersive. That's really cool. if I subject myself to improv, then I'm allowing that to be part of the experience, right? Because like that makes sense for that medium. It doesn't make sense for film. It'd be like if the television asked you a question and expected you to reply. It'd be like
I mean,
pluribus.
wouldn't that be amazing though?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying for years, I don't know why we invented the car when the horse worked perfectly fine.
There you go. Shut up. You fucking know.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that that's personally, I find novelty in it. And, you know, novelty often doesn't go much beyond that.
You find novelty in this?
I find novelty in the idea of having someone in the audience be a part of the film. Yeah.
That's stupid.
It's something that I've never seen before. I like it because I've never seen something
I've never
like
seen
that before.
pancake shoes either, but I don't want to see them. I don't find novelty in that idea.
Well, I guess, you know, only one of us really supports pushing the medium forward and trying out the boundaries, seeing how far they go.
Yeah, the boundary is the frame.
No, you're thinking inside them. You are literally saying we have a box. We must think inside of it.
If the movie starts happening in the theater, that's when I stop seeing movies.
Wow.
If I go see the Avengers and they start fogging the theater and having Iron Man, a guy on strings, fly around blasting me in the eyes with light, and I'm supposed to be watching them and the screen, I'll just go to a Broadway show.
You're
they do it better.
Very old man yells at cloud right now.
I don't give a fuck what I sound like. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
So I guess, what do you think of like the 4DX experience theaters? Where it's
Is that
like,
the thing where like they put you in the box and then like if you're in a car, it feels like you're in a car, and if you go off the edge, like the D box or whatever.
So I don't know if you're in a box. I don't know physically how it works because I've never actually seen it, never been to one. But like I know that last year or 2 years ago when Twisters came out, like they were showing it in 4DX theaters, and like your seat would shake, or you'd get sprayed, like a light mist would spray on you, or there would be wind.
So like that's like a theme park attraction. That's like the Stitch ride at Disney World, where it burps in your face with the lights off, and it's supposed to smell like chili dogs, right? Like, I don't give a. I think it's dumb. I just think it's stupid. I like. That is a novelty, but not in a film sense. It's a sensorial experience for children and gawking parents at Disneyland. Like,
You know, I hear what you're saying.
I just don't care. If I thought the medium was exhausted, I'd be craving something else. But instead, I get this shit, and then they do weird novelty stuff, and I'm like, why don't you just focus on making the fucking movie better?
This reminds me of when the moving picture was invented, and there was that guy who was like, until they've made every picture that could possibly exist, I don't want to see them move.
What the fuck? You set me up for this stuff because you know that I'm gonna have a reaction, and then you just shit on me for my idea, for my opinion, and I fall for it every time. Every time I go in for the bait. Every time.
It also reminds me of your opinions on the new NFL kickoff rules. How at first you're like, I don't like them. They changed. And then by the end of the season, I'd ask you like, yeah, no, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I guess I realized I don't like kickoffs that much. I just get to the part, because everyone kneels down anyway. Just get to the part where they have the ball.
Okay, some other things. How much did you love John Voight having an erection that was a bow and arrow?
I had no opinion. That moment
no opinion?
That
you have
point
an opinion over someone in the theater getting up and speaking as they intended instead of being like, you moron, when Matt Damon tries to dock a spaceship?
Look, first of all, that was Weenie Boy.
Weenie Boy.
Listen, I didn't even see it at first. You're the one that pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh, that is a boner. And then it turned out to be a bow and arrow, and I was like, oh, But for me, it was like boom, boom. I didn't even notice his third leg.
You didn't notice him saying, "How do you like my boner?"
I didn't hear that because you were talking.
I was probably anticipating the line specifically coming up.
Oh, that's totally fair. I'm just saying I didn't.
Oh man,
I didn't have anything for you there, Chief.
I think that was my favorite scene
In the movie.
Yeah, the whole boner scene.
The whole boner scene.
The whole boner scene. Yeah, I wish that they just showed it all though.
Huh, okay, sure.
I wanted to just kind of do a quick run through. I know I've talked a lot about the Roman allegory of this all, and that was like really the one of the driving things for Francis Ford Coppola. I just wanted to run through who these people actually were. So Adam Driver played Caesar Catalina, who is supposed to be Lucius Sergius Catalina. He's a guy who pretty much tried to do a coup in the Roman Republic over Marcus Tullius Cicero, which is who Giancarlo Esposito is supposed to be. At the same time, there was also Marcus Licinius Crassus. That's John Voight, pretty much bankroll for the Republic at the time. Shia LaBeouf is an actual dude as well. Publius Claudius Pulcher. In this, he plays Claudio Pulcher. Then the one that interested me most, though, was the Soviet satellite that crashes down is called Carthage, which is a reference to Roman Carthage, which was a city that was destroyed. I believe from like, I believe it was like from invaders, like came and pillaged it, though I don't know that exactly. But yeah, just so much going on, and it's very over the top with the Rome of it all, like the Colosseum, all of the new Rome bullshit, all of the stuff talking about like decay of democracy and all of that stuff. So just wanted to list all that off. One thing that we've not talked about, though, that I kind of omitted from the recap. CJ, do you remember what the final visual of this movie is before the credits begin?
The baby?
No.
I don't know.
So I'm going to send it to you. It is a new Pledge of Allegiance that is established in the film. So CJ, I thought that this would be so perfect for us to not only recite together now, but maybe we sign off every show by reciting this.
So I have this correct. You want me to read this?
Let's read it together. Let's say our new pledge together. Ready?
I will do it this one time. I'm never doing it again.
Ready?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to our human family and to all the species that we protect, one earth, indivisible, with long life, education, and justice for all. Now, right off the bat, it feels like they really took a lot from the original Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, the bones are all there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I like most is that this is, throughout the movie, they have a lot of title cards, and it typically looks like granite with the words etched in. My favorite thing about this is that they included in Roman numeral the year in the bottom right corner, MMXXIV for 2024, meaning this film canonically takes place in the year of 2024, which makes no sense. No sense. Was there any, we have a note on here, visuals, character development, ? Any more you wanted to touch on with those?
No, I mean, there is no character development.
There really is not. The character who gets most of it, I guess, is Giancarlo Esposito, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call Shia LaBeouf going from like fucking his sisters and dressing in their clothes to like, I'm going to be a populist leader to being hanged like Mussolini, like, then I guess, but yeah, I mean, he just, like, stuff just happens to people. Like, there's no growth.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, the people that stand out for me, Shia LaBeouf, it's still a bad performance, I think, but, like, at least memorable. Giancarlo Stanton, for me, just kind of fades into the background. I originally wrote him down on my list, but I'm like, Yeah, I mean, I don't really even remember a specific thing that
Yeah.
he did or a scene that he had. He's just
I'm
there.
with you. For Shia LaBeouf, I think he gives a certain degree of unhinged in this, which is entertaining. I'm with you that I don't think it's a great performance, though I do think it's an entertaining performance, which ultimately is a goal at the end of the day. But yeah, Giancarlo Esposito, he's an actor who I wish he didn't get typecasted as much, because it's just every time I see he's playing the same thing. Give him a role with a bit of inflection in his voice. Why does he have to be a monotonous antagonist the whole time? Like almost every time he's always like a plotting character. Why can't we let him be like a little messy surfer dude, huh?
Why can't we let him be a little messy?
I don't know. He would be such a good messy little surfer dude, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you know who else would be a good little messy surfer dude?
Who?
Larry Fishburne.
Why's that? How's that?
Well, I'd just like to hear him like hang 10.
Are you gonna do a Larry? I don't know.
No.
Why you call him Larry?
Larry Fishburne.
Are you on you're on first name basis with him?
No, it's just what I hear people call him.
This is Ray Fiennes all over again. Where you're adamant that it's Ray, R-A-Y.
No, that's not what happened. I knew that it was Rafe. I said people call him Ray.
I've never once seen someone spell it out Ray.
I sent you examples, and
No,
you were
didn't.
like, I did. I'm not relitigating this with you. Okay. Aubrey Plaza is probably the best performance in this whole movie.
100%.
She is actually a character in a universe with goals and machinations. And she also is the only one doing stuff that matters. Everybody else is just kind of like, oh, I live in New Rome. I'm gonna do Roman things, and
she
she's
really
like,
is the thrust of it all, isn't she?
yeah, like there's no driving of any plot without her. So, and she's actually really good. I think she's actually the one bright spot for me.
I'm with you. She really feels like the only person who really understood the type of movie that they were making, and that is 80-year-old slop.
Yeah, slop. Tommy, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit dwindling here.
All right.
So,
what was this part 2 on our duology of?
So this was part 2 in our duology of protagonists clashing with local government officials, and that was with Shrek.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Of course.
Why is
this
that?
movie doesn't do anything. Like, I know that he's fighting with the mayor, but also he takes on a lord. I think that outweighs there's some judicial, some jurisdiction here.
So I hear what you're saying in that this is a relatively aimless plot and Shrek has the straight up standoffs with Farquaad. Though for me, when I think Shrek, I don't think of Shrek v Farquaad initially. I think of Shrek and Fiona. And to me, the movie is largely Shrek and Fiona falling in love, becoming comfortable with who they are. Whereas to me, Megalopolis is almost exclusively Adam Driver beefing with a political figure in some way, be it for the first half, it's with Giancarlo Esposito, or in the second half, it's Shia LaBeouf and his little street Nazis. So I personally, I think this is one we don't need a consensus on. I personally think I'm falling in the Megalopolis camp for this.
We will have to continue without a consensus because there's no way that I would agree.
So another question that I want to ask regularly, though, ever since I started adding this to our show notes, we've had some pretty duds in this department. But I want to talk about the film's titles when we have a chance. And any insight on why a title might be what it is. And Megalopolis, I think kind of falls into the same camp of like, yeah, we know he wants to build Megalopolis. It's all about this push towards a utopia.
It's based on Megalon, and it's
Right.
an opolis.
Right. And, similar to Shrek, we don't need to discuss why that's called that. Same with Moonstruck and Game Night. But with Megalopolis, I don't know if you know this, but Megalopolis actually isn't the official full title, I believe. I believe the way it's actually presented is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, a Fable. So, what's your insight on Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, a Fable as a title?
If you ever been to like a work conference and they have those placards on the stands outside the rooms so that you know what each room is for, like in like a hotel ballroom or something.
Right.
I guess this would also apply if you've been to GDQ, but I'm thinking like a more of a work thing where like there might be individual breakout rooms or workshop rooms. And I was tasked one time for writing a workshop card or a card for the placard to go outside the room on the easel. And I said, how long does it need to be? And they said, you can make it as long as you want. And I took perverse pleasure in making the title as long as possible. It included a comma, a period, a semicolon, an exclamation point. And it was really, really funny. And I feel like he just wanted his... Well, first of all, you have to put his name above the title. He paid for the fucking thing, so he's doing that no matter what. I don't know what a fable adds to it.
Yeah, that's the question mark for me.
It's not nonfiction. We know that. There's no flower buildings, and it's also everything's yellow, so...
So typically with fables, there's some sort of, message to the heart of it all, like the rabbit and the tortoise and the hare, or the scorpion and the frog, or something like that. So I guess if you could distill the fable of Megalopolis to one succinct message, one succinct, theme, what would you say is the message of this fable?
If you want to build utopia, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Everything can't be that nice all the time. It's got to be shitty for some people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you want the poors to have money? Wow. How are you going to do that?
Shame
Give
on
them
you.
money? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
that
going to do.
is really what Giancarlo Esposito is saying for half the movie.
He's like, what are you going to do? You got to give these people food and money and places to live?
Yeah,
now,
that sounds great.
The way that he, in the beginning, does this is he destroys their homes to give them new homes to live in. But he doesn't build the new homes right away.
No.
So Adam Driver just displaces a bunch of people. He's like, well, I'm going to put my building here. It's like, yeah, when? Eventually. What am I going to do in the meantime? Be homeless, poors. Because it's not like he's a populist. He's living in the ivory tower.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't even live, for the first half of the movie, in one of these goddamn buildings. He lives in a regular-ass building.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So, we need to figure out what genre this is.
Yes.
So, I wrote down, is this science fiction?
That's a good question. So
my 9th grade English teacher would say, if he were here right now, it is fictional, and it is about fictional science. So it should be science fiction. We don't have to adhere to his strict demands, but that is how I approach it.
Top billing on this should probably be drama.
Okay.
And then I think the second one, I mean, it could be science fiction. It could be fantasy. I'm with you, though, that like ultimately, yeah, this is about he as an architect wanting to build a city out of a fictional material that he invented that exceeds the materials in our actual world. To me, that is a degree of science fiction. It's I would say lighter science fiction, but it is science fiction.
Yeah, he's talking about building something that's sturdier than concrete and light as a feather.
Yeah.
And malleable as water.
And it
You know-
also kind of has a brain, it seems.
Yeah. Remember when you could look inside his skull?
Yeah. Okay, so how do you feel about drama top billing science fiction under that?
That's fine. I agree with that.
Okay. Any other ones you can think of to put on, or just drama sci-fi?
I really like keeping it to 2. If you were going to, I don't think it's a fantasy. I think it's an epic.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think epic would be next in line, but I don't think we should put epic on here.
No, because it's just never going to come.
Yeah.
All right. Most important question on the show.
Yes. CJ, could you have done a Megalopolis? Sorry, could you have done a Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, a Fable?
As Francis Ford Coppola, dude, I could make something way better than this. I mean, fuck. I would, by accident, I could probably make something better. Who am I? Who do I get to be?
You're
I have
Adam
to
Driver.
Be Adam Driver?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Any specific reason, or just
I
a lot?
don't live getting shot point blank in the face.
Even if they rebuild you with the Megalon?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well,
Uh,
how about
know.
we get to our second most important question then? If that's just a no.
yeah. Tommy.
Yeah.
Is the film Okie Dokie?
Ultimately, I think I'm gonna say no, though that's not to mean I didn't like watching it. This was very much in the camp of Armageddon for me, where I'm like, oh my God, this is bad, but it's really fun to watch. I could see this being fun to throw on with some friends and just talk over the whole time. So I'm going to say no,
Okay.
though I do derive enjoyment from the film.
I find it interesting. I don't think it's fun, which I guess would be my one distinction. I also don't think it's Okie Dokie. I think you'd be well within your right to skip this and wouldn't be depriving yourself of some moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons we've said and all the reasons we just couldn't possibly get into. Not Okie Dokie.
Okay. Wow. So our first unanimous Noki Doki to start the year.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, let's go to the rec room. Everything
All
has been
right.
put back. No more mattress. They came and
Thank
took
God
it away.
you got that cum-soaked mattress out of here.
It wasn't soaked. It was not cum anything. It was just a mattress. It was my mattress, and it was just in here for a day or two.
Oh, so it was just piss and shit?
I don't shit the bed.
Oh, you just piss it. Gotcha.
I don't. Oh my god. All right. I'll go first because I really don't have much. I have one recommendation. It's seltzer. I recently gotten into seltzer. I have not had soda or anything carbonated for almost 3 years. So, I started drinking Polar Lemon Seltzer and Polar Tangerine Seltzer. I like them both. And, no sugar, no caffeine or anything in here. It's just literally bubbly water with a lemon in the room when they made it. And I like it.
Nice.
And yeah, that's all I really have. I will say I am having some funny conversations with people that are like, "Oh, I can't believe you gave up you're back on soda." I'm like, "Well, I'm not drinking soda."
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, no, it is. It's soda water." I'm like, "It's more water than soda. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
I
carbonated
quit
water.
drinking soda for the chemicals and the sugars or the aspartame and the caffeine. I didn't stop drinking soda for the bubbles. I did say to Dayman, friend of the show, that I thought it was cheating, and he said something to the effect of, "I'm glad bubbles bring you joy." So there you go. Very Daymanian answer.
That is a very Daymanian answer.
All right. You can step up to the podium now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me up here. I've got a couple things. I'll keep it relatively brief. First thing I wanted to recommend is a little game called Hollow Knight Silk Song. I have finally finished it after about 4 months of slowly playing it. I, in total, put about like 70 hours into it, got the true ending. Yeah, really great Metroidvania. I preferred it to Hollow Knight. If you're unfamiliar with the Metroidvania, it's a video game genre where more or less the map is all out there. if theoretically you could go and finish the game right away, but the thing that prevents you from doing so is you do not have the means to fully traverse the map. So it's a game of going one direction, unlocking a new way of getting around, like a wall jump, and then you backtrack to other places you've been and find places where you could have, where it had the wall jump earlier, you could have gone, but now it was inaccessible until now. And there's, with Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silksong specifically, difficulty is a big aspect of it, which I love a hard game. And yeah, just really well crafted. I feel like it does the Hollow Knight games have a lot of esoteric storytelling, and I think that this one really did pull me in with the storytelling in it, when usually esoteric storytelling in video games, my eyes kind of glaze over, like in Dark Souls or even Hollow Knight, the first one. Don't really get into it, but I actually really got into it with Silksong. And yeah, gameplay's fantastic, so wanted to recommend that. I wanted to recommend Fallout Season 2. Just wrapped that up recently. It's not amazing, but it's enjoyable, and I'm like the Fallout guy on this show, so I feel like I gotta mention that I watched it, and it's pretty good. It's still faithful to the game. I think it's a little bit of a step down from Season 1, but it's still enjoyable. Has a lot of things that make me point and say, I know that. And then the last thing I wanted to recommend was is a show that I just rewatched with Jade, who was watching it for the first time, and that is Invincible. The new season is just starting up in a couple weeks here. I, of course, am big Invincible fan, have the compendiums and everything. I've read through it. And yeah, really good show. It just has gotten better as it's gone on. I'm hoping that is the case with season 4, especially being aware of where the story is headed. And yeah, just, it's a animated superhero show that is about a boy whose dad is the most powerful superhero on the planet, and this boy gets powers and gets thrust into the world of superheroes. And it starts as, kind of, I would say, like, it begins with a lot of naivete and viewing this lens of a superhero world with a golden frame. And as the realities of the implications of all of this set in, and consequences are reaped, that it just compounds upon itself. And by the end, we only have 3 seasons of the show, and it's probably going to go for at least probably 6 or 7 seasons at least. By the end, it's just going to be so layered, and it already is very layered at the point that it is in the show. But it's a really engaging watch that, as it goes on, asks some really interesting moral questions and poses some really interesting conundrums that are very fun to watch. So just to recap, the 3 things that I wrecked were Hollow Knight Silksong, Fallout Season 2, and Invincible. And then CJ, you recommended
Seltzer, lemon and tangerine polar seltzer.
Very nice. Well, how about we walk into the next room over in this hallway? Tominio, of course, slapping his feet on the tile behind us, keeping along so I can write in what I'm about to hear on there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, did you know this is actually our part 1 in a 2-part duology that we're doing?
What?
This is actually part 1. Megalopolis was part 1 of our 2-part duology on the classics. Because next time we will be watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Wow.
Yeah. So you got a little bit of Rome flavor, and I get a little bit of Greek flavor.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
I'm very excited. So, thank you to everybody for listening to the podcast. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater. Please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your neighbors' friends, tell your neighbors' kids. Just download it right to their devices. You may need to help the kids. They have little fingers. They have trouble working the buttons. Tommy, do you have anything that you want to say before we get out of here?
Join our Discord server.
Oscars ballot.
Oscars, yes. Make sure to do your Oscars ballot. I believe that is all.
All right. And as always, I have been CJ.
I've been Tommy.
This has been the Film is Okie Dokie, and get out of here, knuckleheads.
I pledge allegiance to our human family and to all the species that we protect. One Earth,
fuck
indivisible, with long life, education, and justice for all.
You know who you are? You want them to read the fucking pledge in the movie.
Yeah? Do they not?
Goodbye, everybody.